In the heart of Lagos, Nigeria, Samantha, a successful and wealthy 50-year-old woman, lived a life of luxury and control until a young man named Andrew came into her life. Andrew, a determined and hard-working man, initially joined her company as an employee. But soon their professional relationship evolved into something much deeper. Despite their significant age difference, they found themselves drawn to each other. Their relationship took an unexpected turn when Samantha discovered she was pregnant. The news was shocking, not only because of Samantha's age but also because of the societal expectations they both faced. However, with Andrew's unwavering support and the encouragement of her close friend Funk, Samantha decided to embrace this new chapter. After revealing the news to her family, Samantha faced mixed reactions. While her family was surprised and concerned, they ultimately decided to stand by her, respecting her strength and determination. Now, Samantha and Andrew must navigate the complexities of their unconventional relationship as they prepare for the arrival of their child. As the days passed, Samantha and Andrew found themselves growing closer, not just as a couple but as partners preparing to welcome a new life. The initial shock of their situation had given way to a deep sense of commitment and love. They spent evenings planning for the baby, discussing everything from names to the kind of parents they wanted to be. One evening, as they sat together in the nursery they had started to prepare, Andrew turned to Samantha with a thoughtful expression. "Samantha, I've been thinking, we should start considering how we'll handle things at work. People are bound to notice soon, and I don't want you to be stressed." Samantha nodded, appreciating his concern. "You're right, Andrew. I've been thinking about it too. I want to be transparent with my employees, but I also need to ensure that the company continues to run smoothly." Andrew squeezed her hand gently. "We'll figure it out together. We've already come this far." The following week, Samantha called a meeting with her senior staff. She knew it was time to address the situation openly, but she was determined to do so on her terms. As her employees gathered in the conference room, Samantha took a deep breath and began. "I've called this meeting today to share some personal news with you all." Samantha started, her voice steady. "As many of you know, I've always been very private about my personal life. However, I believe it's important to be open with you now." She paused, allowing her words to sink in. The room was silent, and all eyes were on her. "I am expecting a child," she continued, her tone calm but firm. "And Andrew is the father. We are committed to each other and to this child. I understand that this news may come as a surprise, but I want to assure you that my commitment to this company remains as strong as ever." The room remained quiet for a moment before one of her senior managers, a woman named Ngozi, spoke up. "Samantha, thank you for being honest with us. We appreciate your transparency, and I'm sure I speak for everyone when I say that we support you. We'll do whatever we can to ensure that the company continues to thrive during this time." Samantha felt a wave of relief at Ngozi's words. She knew that her team would have questions and concerns, but she also knew that she could count on their support. Over the next few weeks, Samantha and Andrew settled into a new routine. They continued to work together, managing both their professional and personal lives with a sense of balance and understanding. Samantha's pregnancy began to show more visibly, and while there were whispers and curious glances from some, most people in their lives accepted the situation with grace. One afternoon, as Samantha was preparing to leave the office. She received a call from her mother, Mama Tinu, who lived in a small town outside Lagos. Mama Tinu was a traditional woman, and Samantha hadn't yet told her about the pregnancy. "Samantha, my daughter, how are you?" Mama Tinu's warm voice came through the phone. "I'm well, Mama," Samantha replied, her heart racing slightly. She knew it was time to tell her mother the truth. "Mama, there's something I need to tell you." There was a pause on the other end of the line. "What is it, Samantha?" "I'm expecting a child, Mama," Samantha said, her voice steady. "And I want you to know that Andrew, my partner, and I are committed to each other and to this child." The silence on the other end was palpable, and Samantha waited, her heart pounding. "Samantha, I don't know what to say," Mama Tinu finally replied, her voice filled with emotion. "You're my daughter, and I love you. This is not what I expected, but if this is your path, I will support you. Just know that people will talk, and you must be prepared for that." "I understand, Mama," Samantha said, her voice soft. "But I'm ready to face whatever comes our way." Mama Tinu sighed deeply. "Then I will stand by you, Samantha. You're a strong woman, just like your father. I'll come to Lagos soon to see you." Samantha felt a wave of relief wash over her. "Thank you, Mama. That means the world to me." As the days turned into weeks, Samantha and Andrew continued to prepare for the arrival of their baby. They attended prenatal classes, shopped for baby clothes, and even started discussing potential names. Samantha's family slowly came around to the idea, and even her mother, Mama Tinu, began to show excitement about becoming a grandmother. One evening, as they sat on the balcony of Samantha's home, watching the city lights twinkle in the distance, Andrew turned to her with a smile. "We've come a long way, Samantha. I'm proud of how strong you've been through all of this." Samantha smiled back at him, feeling a deep sense of contentment. "I couldn't have done it without you, Andrew. You've been my rock." Andrew took her hand in his eyes filled with love and determination. "We're in this together, Samantha. No matter what comes our way, we'll face it as a team." As they sat there, the weight of the challenges ahead felt lighter. Knowing they had each other, the future was uncertain, but they were ready to embrace it, one step at a time. As the months passed, Samantha's pregnancy became increasingly difficult. What started as a joyful and hopeful journey turned into a struggle for her health. At her age, carrying a child was far more demanding than she had anticipated. She often felt tired, weak, and dizzy, and simple tasks that she used to do effortlessly now left her exhausted. Andrew became increasingly worried. He watched as Samantha, once a vibrant and energetic woman, grew weaker with each passing day. He took on more responsibilities, both at home and at work, to ease her burden. But he couldn't shake the fear that something might go wrong. One evening, Samantha collapsed while trying to get up from the couch. Andrew rushed to her side, panic gripping his heart as he called for help. They rushed to the hospital, where the doctors examined her with concern. "Samantha, your body is under a lot of stress," the doctor said gently. Looking at the worried couple, "Carrying a child at your age is extremely risky, and it's taking a toll on your health. We need to monitor you very closely from now on." Samantha nodded, her face pale but resolute. "I'll do whatever it takes to keep this baby safe," she said, her voice firm despite the fear in her eyes. Andrew held her hand tightly, his own fear evident on his face. "We'll get through this together," he whispered, trying to reassure her as much as himself. The weeks that followed were some of the most challenging of Samantha's life. She was put on bed rest, and Andrew stayed by her side every moment he could. Her family visited often, bringing her food and keeping her company. But the toll on her body was undeniable. She lost weight. Her once healthy glow faded, and even speaking sometimes left her breathless. As the day of delivery approached, the tension in the air grew thick. The doctors warned Samantha and Andrew of the risks involved in the delivery, and Samantha could see the worry in everyone's eyes. But she remained determined. She had come this far and wasn't going to give up now. Finally, the day arrived. Samantha was rushed to the hospital when her contractions began, and Andrew was by her side every step of the way. The labor was long and grueling, and Samantha's weakened body struggled to keep up with the demands of childbirth. The doctors and nurses worked tirelessly, their expressions grave as they monitored both mother and baby. After what felt like an eternity, Samantha gave one last push, and the cries of a newborn baby filled the room. Andrew's heart soared with joy as he saw their son for the first time. A tiny, beautiful boy with a strong cry. But his joy was short-lived as he turned to Samantha, who had gone deathly pale. "She's losing a lot of blood," one of the doctors shouted, and the room erupted into a frenzy of activity. Andrew was pushed aside as the medical team fought to save Samantha's life. He stood helplessly in the corner of the room, his heart pounding as he watched the love of his life slip closer to the brink of death. He couldn't lose her. Not now, not after everything they had been through. Minutes felt like hours as the doctors worked frantically, their faces tense with concentration. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the bleeding was brought under control, and Samantha was stabilized. The doctor turned to Andrew, his expression exhausted but relieved. "She's going to be okay," the doctor said, placing a reassuring hand on Andrew's shoulder. It was a close call, but she made it. Tears of relief streamed down Andrew's face as he rushed to Samantha's side. She was weak, barely able to keep her eyes open. But when she saw Andrew and their newborn son, a faint smile appeared on her lips. "You did it, Samantha," Andrew whispered, his voice choked with emotion. "You brought our son into this world. I'm so proud of you." Samantha managed to reach out and touch her baby's tiny hand. "He's beautiful," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "Our little miracle." Andrew kissed her forehead gently, overwhelmed with love and gratitude. They had faced unimaginable challenges, but they had come through it together. As Samantha drifted into a deep sleep, exhausted but safe, Andrew held their son close, silently vowing to cherish and protect the family they had fought so hard to create.